What's up, my beloved traders? Welcome back to the channel. You know what? It was kind of a, there it is. It was kind of a fun little day, although both of our lead gappers, OXBR, EYEN, both of them, sold off all day. It was kind of depressing. Although I gotta say, OXBR had a nice little kind of late morning, little spike back to the upside, which I was not ready for at all, and I did not trade. But I don't really mind not trading it because I did exactly what I wanted to. Out of the gates, I did what I wanted to pre-market in terms of playing around a little bit, getting my feet wet. I took advantage of everything I saw, everything that I understood, and I was able to walk away with a nice chunk of change. If I wanted to make more money today, all I would have had to do was increase my position size, not trade anything that I didn't understand, or not start throwing money at stuff that I wasn't, fully on board with. So again, there was a few things I think I want to focus on today. OXBR, EYEN, obviously, but even several other tickers like PRPH. Why did I not want to touch this one once the market opened? I'll tell you exactly why, and I'll talk about some of my big pre-market red flags that I want to share with you guys, which I talk about quite often in the recap video. I mean, not in the recap video, but just on the stream as well. But sometimes it's nice to kind of put it all together in one nice list. Hopefully that helps you guys as well. All right, guys, let's go to the charts now. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the content. If you're totally new here, consider subscribing. Would love to have you join this phenomenal community. I love it more and more every single day, even though I've liked it since day one. But it came from 10 people or so to this just insane community that we have now. So guys, I really appreciate it. And let's go to the charts now. Hello guys. All right, so let's I just realized the second screen's there. Let's wrap it up here. We did, I think, 9 trades today, 2 of which were partial entries. I had 50 shares or something, and I closed it again. So really small amount of trades I made today. I mean, 7 trades, more or less, my real trades, is very low. I mean, that's half the amount I usually trade. Sometimes I'm over 20. That's when I know I'm over trading a little bit. But under 10 it's kind of how I know I'm a little bit under trading. But we wrapped up today with $399 profit. Really okay. Can't really complain there. Let me actually quickly pull up here this month so we can get some better stats going on. Let's just go here and click apply. There we go. Okay, so this is probably the best zoom. Okay, so far this month, average position size, and these are for the trades that were documented as of yesterday. So it's not counting today. So that's going to be, we're going to be over, add 400 to that. So it's going to be a nice little increase here, getting into the $1,500 zone. So today was a pretty decent profit day. Average win 2%, average loss 1.5%. So I basically have a 1.5 to 2.1 risk reward ratio. That's not too bad. Largest winning trade, nothing too crazy. I really want to increase this average position size. Something that I was saying on the live stream is, if I wanted to take, make $800 today instead of $400, I don't necessarily need to trade more. I don't need to take more risk. I just need to increase position size. So actually today I took a little bit bigger position size, trying to get into that habit. But most of my trades, I think, were around $2,000 today. So it's really important to slowly increase position size and make sure you're comfortable with it. There's no need to get overly aggressive too soon. I think that's really important. Total winners, 65%, pretty nice. I would say win ratio there. I couldn't be more happy about that. So total winnings, almost 2,000, and we gave back about $800 so far. And that's basically this whole month up to yesterday, up to Monday. Total trades, 60 trades. Actually seems so light for some reason, but no, that's everything. 60 trades for the month. So I think it was Monday last week or Tuesday that I did a lot more trades, and then I've been a little bit on the lighter end of trades recently. So today it's gonna pop it up to 67 or so, or no, 69 I think we counted. Total scratches, I mean, these are the overall quick stats, and then all the individual trades. You can see every now and then I have a trade over 5,000. I do a few more 3,000s every now and then. Today, when I get these trades documented, I think we might even have a $6,000 trade. That might be one of our first. But yeah, those are the quick little stats. So this has been a pretty nice month, even though we're still using not really that big position size. Like I said, I want to get a little bit more heavy. I want to start doing a little bit more over 5,000, but I think we're well on our way. And I think really just not rushing it is very important, because you guys probably see me sometimes when I get into that $5,000-$6,000 position size, I start kind of getting a little bit overly tied to the trade because I'm just not used to those amounts for day trading small caps. Let's review these tickers, and then let's talk about some swing trades as well, because I know AL has been doing a lot of rocketing today in all sorts of directions. Let's start with PRPH. This one, I knew I was not going to want to trade PRPH. And let me talk about why I did not want to trade PRPH after I took my loss on it. This is a lesson that I find very, very important that everyone should at least acknowledge. It doesn't mean you have to like, stay true to it yourself, but I think it's a good thing to know that other traders, and I learned this from other traders, acknowledge. And the more people, the more simple something is, the more everyone acknowledges, the more chances it might become a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why I like support and resistance so much, because it's so simple. It's the one thing that everyone can look at. It's the one thing where you go to a chart and you're like, okay, 2.5, this is a pretty key zone. Not to mention we have kind of the whole dollar, half dollar zones. Always tend to be really, really important, especially on a lower price stock. So, I mean, look at this, huge support here, broke it, and then it became resistance. We retested it, and guess what? Now we're kind of crawling to this area right now. And we had several small balances off of 2.5, so that could be great trading opportunities for PRPH. Now, this thing popped up on our scanner pretty late and very aggressively, and I was like, okay, well, we might actually have a nice continuation here with PRPH. 9 million float, US drug manufacturer company with financial results, pretty much the same information I would say as OXBR, one of our lead gappers on the day. Except, when it had this first pullback here, which was like 20%, which is okay, it didn't bounce, go back above VWAP and have a continuation. It kept selling off. I bought here at $4. At one point, we were down on this trade quite a bit, about 8% or so. And then I sold here on the reversal or the quick bounce. I was scared for another flush and a continuation to the downside. So I got out. I had to manage my risk. But what I did well on this trade, better than anything else on this trade, is the fact that I knew pre-market things like this happen a bit more often. Pre-market, I don't like to be in a big hole, and pre-market, you don't have the full story yet of a stock. So I always take small position size pre-market because I don't want to start the day off being down a lot of money. That also means I won't ever be up that much money pre-market, but it doesn't really matter. It allows me to kind of get, dip my toes in, get a good feel for it. So PRPH, I mean, this time it did bounce up here, and in hindsight, yeah, I sold, and I actually this could have been a winner. But at one point, you really got to manage your risk, and you just don't know if it's going to have a bounce like this. This is actually pretty impressive. You don't see this all the time on a stock that's pulling back so aggressively. So I always say, if a stock is pulling back over 30%, there's a really, really good chance that I will not be trading it into the market open unless we're seeing a little bit more healthy long-term consolidation and it's just pulling back a little bit right near the end. But this was a strong sell-off right away, big red flag, and guess what? This thing the rest of the day was not really anything you'd want to trade. Few bounces off of this area could have got you some decent profit. So PRPH, that would have been maybe one way to trade it. Let's keep going here. PLX. This was a ticker that I traded pre-market, and I had a nice little trade. I think I only did one trade on PLX. 17 million float, Israel biotech company with FDA acceptance on priority review. That's always really nice catalyst. But, this one was also selling off so much. So when I knew this one was selling off here about 35% pre-market, I was not looking for more than a quick bounce off a key support, and that's what I did. So this one, big bounce here, bought at $4, got the bounce, made 10%. It was a 10% bounce. I made about like 20 to 40, like 6% on this one, maybe less, actually less, like 4%. I don't know, somewhere in that area. It was an okay trade, maybe even less than that. It was an okay trade, nothing really too crazy, quick little base hit. I didn't really think it was gonna do the whole 9-minute EMA retest, but it did. So I mean, that's really close to PRPH. PRPH, very similar idea, I would argue, but this one, didn't have the bounce here off the big support off $4, while the other one did. This one had a big bounce off of 360, and this was a really, really nice bounce. But would have been I don't know, it was tricky. Sometimes you just get lucky, sometimes you don't. And this one, pulled back 30%. That would have actually been the time to buy it. I bought a little bit earlier, so what I should have done is close this position quicker and then maybe buy it again. But, it's really, really tough to say. I wouldn't be surprised if this, bounced here and then continued selling off. I feel like you see stuff like that happen all the time. So like in hindsight, it's always so easy to say what you should have done or been like, oh yeah, I should have just hold. But in reality, at the time, you just don't know because these things do continue selling off quite often. Let's quickly keep on going here and talk about OXBR. Now, OXBR, this is the third biggest profit for me today, and this is really nice. 3 million float, one of the lead gappers today. Cayman Islands Insurance Company, Q2 earnings. The big issue, oh, it's not even pulled up here. The big issue I had with OXBR was the fact that it was not holding any of its former spikes. So if we just kind of go here to the daily chart, you can see OXBR has a lot of these spike days, but never really holds its highs, and it looks like today might not hold its high either. That's actually why I was so surprised that it had a huge reversal, and that's why I didn't trade this big reversal, because I just was not expecting it, and I also just didn't really value the fact that this thing even has the energy for something like that. So whatever, it was a bit against my thesis, so I was okay sitting on the sidelines, missing the move. Rather than trading something I don't fully understand. I think that's something I say quite often, and I really, really mean it. I would rather avoid a big move, watch it, hopefully learn something, than trade it, have FOMO into it, and then get caught into a move that I don't fully understand. So that's why I left OXBR away around 10 o'clock. I just didn't trade it. So this one I traded several times pre-market. If you just kind of scroll back here a little bit, it had a really nice spike pre-market. It was holding its highs well. It started selling off kind of aggressively past 30%, but I still wanted to trade it at least a little bit because, like I said before, we did hold our highs for most of pre-market. So that is actually quite a bullish sign and did make me somewhat bullish towards this overall move. So let's see here, 7 o'clock pre-market on TOS opens up and we get a big flush here to the downside. And then 2.4 acts as support. I do a little bit of a trade here, my first base hit, and then I think I have a second trade somewhere here. This was a scratch, but then the second one worked out I think a little bit better. Just kind of a little bit of fumbling though in this area, nothing really too crazy. But then this is where it really got nice. So we opened up here and at first it was seeing some big resistance, but it's a support of 2, but big resistance here at 2.2. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I missed this move, but I don't really care. I'm not going to chase it at this point because, like I said, the stock is pulling back a lot. I don't really trust this one more that much. Also has a lot of these sell-offs, so I'm just going to be a little bit weary here. But all of a sudden, it has a big dip here. I buy the first big dip, has a second dip, and then reverses back to the 9-minute EMA. This does not look like that big of a move, but we walked away with like 7 cents a share profit on the second one and closer to about 3 cents a share profit on the first one. That's not too bad. I mean, we're talking, I don't know, like 10, like a 10% move. So we're talking about like 3% profit. Not really that bad on a shaky stock like this. I definitely left some money on the table, which is a little bit unfortunate. But you just don't know. Like, it could have easily hit this 9-minute EMA and then flushed again. So I'm not trying to gamble here. I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm not trying to, make hope my strategy. I'm trying to take very consistent, good risk reward trades. And that's what I did OXBR. Some of these dips down here I missed. I constantly try to get a few dips in this area, but I always was a little bit too conservative. And then maybe somewhere in this area I should have jumped on it again, but it's tough to say. This move was pretty strong. You just don't see stuff like this all the time. So not trading this, like on average, is usually the right idea. So I don't know, and everyone's different. Like if you love these reversals and you can spot them better than I can, go for it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying for me, I'm not that good at it yet. And then I think the most fun one to trade actually for me today was EYEN. This was also our biggest gainer on the day, $255 profit. Let's go to it, EYEN. I also took a pretty big position size on this one. So that actually could be why it was my biggest winner. Let's kind of talk about it here a little bit. Let me zoom in one more time on this one. EYEN, where is it? All right, there it is. So 11 million float, US biotech exclusive collaboration. That's kind of funny. So there's two companies with like an exclusive deal to develop a drug for China and South Korea. Okay, that sounds pretty good. 11 million float, US biotech. This sounds really, really nice. So let's see how this one can rip. Pre-market, I missed this whole run up here. I was away from computer. That's literally, never mind. Okay, so yeah, I was away from the computer, and this one has a nice move. I get back somewhere around this area. I didn't buy this $7 kind of dip here. I probably should have in hindsight, but again, you know, getting back to your computer and then jumping into trade right away has not really been the best thing for me, because usually I won't be fully understanding what I'm doing. I had a bit of a partial entry mess up here. I had like 200 shares. I wanted to buy this quick dip. And it actually worked out pretty perfectly. The only problem was I got a partial entry and then I never ended up closing. And then I was like, well, you know what, maybe I'm just gonna hold it a little bit longer. Yeah, that's why you take base hits. And then I just said, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna close this one when it started pulling back. And again, tiny position size, it's not even really worth talking about. I would have probably sold here because that was my original plan. I just held a little bit longer because, you know, small position size. And then, you know, this thing starts pulling back really, really aggressively. And I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. But I thought, you know, there was potential here, EVEN or EYEN for a red to green move. I was going to look for like a 10% pullback because we had big support at 6. I didn't really want to enter too soon, but it bounced originally off of 6.5. And I thought I missed this move. And I was like, oh, I missed it. But whatever, I'm not going to chase it. It actually ends up not happening here and pulling back more. I enter at 629 with several $300 orders. So 300 share orders. So it was like 629, 6 something else. Here it is. So 631, 632, and 624. Imagine they were all at 624. That would have been much nicer. So the average was at 629. I sell half the position here, which was nice because it sells off again. And all of a sudden, we would have been red in this trade with a huge position size. And then I sell the rest here into this move of the 9-minute EMA. So this was a pretty sweet overall trade. Yeah, so 900 shares. Yeah, 900 shares. I mean, it's okay. It's not like mind-blowingly big. It's smaller than I thought. So more like a $5,000 position, roughly. Yeah, okay. So there was that one. Then, you know, this one pulls off. I miss a few dips on it. Eventually I get a dip here at 63. You know, bounces up here a little bit, 2% or so. I take profits fairly quickly on this. Basically brought me from 200 to 250. Again, you know, I could have, should have, would have traded this one several more times. But I just didn't. This was my last trade on the day, I think. And this is basically when I was like, I'm done. Like, I got everything I wanted. I was looking for red to green moves. I traded them okay for the fact that they didn't work out. So I'm not upset with that. And I feel like anything I'm doing after this would just be kind of FOMOing into setup. So that's why I wrapped it up there. And again, I couldn't be more happy with my overall decision. You know, it's nice to walk away with $400 profit. Let's quickly look at AAL. I know this one, a lot of you guys were talking about. This is also a ticker that I like to trade myself. And let's go to all my accounts because this is my challenge account right now, which is doing pretty well. Our challenge account is getting close to $8,000 now. So 4,000 to 8,000. That's been a super, super sweet move. I'm excited. We've basically doubled this account already, just taking, you know, constant base hits. Although I've had a few moves like SPE, that was like an 80% move. That was a huge move. And then we had another move, actually AAL, which has been a bigger profit now as well. But again, they're kind of they're not like, I'm not going full position size. I've never, like, my space trade was only with about $1,000. So we made like 800 bucks on that trade. But again, I didn't like, you know, put in my whole account. It's been like, it's 300 trades or so. So it's been many, many trades that led us to doubling our account. It wasn't just one lucky trade. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. So AAL pre-market was at 1525, pretty nice move, but, you know, pretty aggressive flush to the downside ever since then. I'm looking to sell above 16, so let's see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, these kind of red days, I'm not surprised. We're actually still green on the day, about 3% up, 2.6% up, because we had a gap up. So we opened here high at 15 or so, and then we pulled lower. So I would like to maybe see AAL continue. A little sad that it sold off so much, but again, I'm looking for a break above 16 on this one. And then I don't know if we're going to hit 18, but that would be like a really aggressive hold. CCL, another one, Carnival Cruise Lines, that I was waiting. We talked about yesterday. I reviewed it quite a bit yesterday, so check out that video if you want to learn more. But basically, I'm looking for a quick pullback here to 15.5 or so, and then maybe trade this into a continuation. So far, it looks like I totally missed the move, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, we sold off quite a bit here to 15.6. Let me actually just kind of go here to maybe 15-minute. It's a little nicer to view. So we have big resistance here at 15.5 that we eventually broke out of, and that was a nice rally. So maybe we would get lucky and buy somewhere in the 15.5s or 15. I don't know. It's tough to say. Like this thing, I think left the dock without us, and I think I'm just gonna have to accept that I missed CCL, but we'll see what happens. I'll leave my limit order here for a little bit longer, but again, I don't know if I'm gonna be jumping on board with CCL right now. A lot of sell volume here overall, and I'm not the biggest fan of this play, to be honest with you. I just like the technicals on it, and I thought it had a good opportunity, but I don't feel like trading something or forcing a trade on something I'm not super hot about, so I most likely will kind of let this one chill a little bit longer. All right, guys, let's wrap it up there. I hope you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to drop a like if you did enjoy the content, and consider subscribing if you're new. I'd love to see you again. We go live every morning at 9:15 a.m. to review the watch list and then trade the market open every day the market's open. Now, remember, if you are interested to do a little bit of more pre-market trading, the actual live stream gets published around like 8:15 or so a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're already talking in there. I think today there was like 70 or 100 people already in it pre-market. So if you just want to join the chat room, that's already live around 8 o'clock. So just a little heads up there. Sometimes I don't publish it till like 8:15 or so because I still haven't figured out what the lead gapper is going to be. I mean, for example, today OXBR was on it right away, but it wasn't until like 8:10 or so till EYEN really started popping up. I think that's what it was. I don't know. Might have mixed that order up a little bit, but you get the point. Sometimes you get the second lead gapper starting to shoot up around 8 o'clock. So sometimes I have to wait a little bit, but whatever. All right, little rant there. All right, guys, it was good fun, like always, trading with everyone today. Absolutely just super grateful for everyone in the community. It's just amazing. So I just want to say I really do appreciate the community. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, guys, stay safe, make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.